What you guys got another video on you have no privacy online. Now, so many people go to great lengths to hide their identity online, or they think they're hiding their identity online, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So first off, your ISP, this can be anywhere in the world that supply you your internet service. This is your internet service provider. These will give you a router. In this country, most of the companies that give you a router cannot be changed. You have to use that router. You can add a new router to the network, but the original router that your ISP give you needs to be put in bridge mode or modem mode so you can then use your new router. Now, of course, this is your router that has come from your ISP. This will have an IP address that is designated to you, and also it will give you the MAC address for that router as well. So all of the information will be stored on your ISP's servers, so where you go on the internet and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, does it mean that they are watching you? Well, of course they're watching you. They will need to know exactly what's going on with their network. So of course they're not watching you every single move, but if you start showing up on their radar for, say, heavy internet usage, maybe you're downloading a lot of stuff, it will start sending alarm bells to them, and they will then start monitoring you. So then you go off and you start purchasing a VPN because someone on YouTube has told you this will give you full anonymity and you won't be seen online if you use one of these VPNs. Of course, they are pretty useful for certain things, but at the end of the day, you're putting your trust now into a VPN company that you know nothing about. So now everything that is going to go through the VPN is now obviously going to be logged on their servers. Most of these VPN companies don't even own them servers, they rent them. And this is the problem. They tell you they have a no-log policy. Well, the company might have a no-log policy, but the people they're renting them off of, you never know what their log policy is. They may be looking and monitoring these servers. We have no clue. You just go logging on and it gives you a place around the world and you go and do your stuff. And you think that you've got full invisibility on the internet. Unfortunately, most of these companies have given up people in the past, so all of a sudden that no-log policy becomes a little bit useless because they have timestamps and other things that they can track you on. Also, your computer has all of the information where you've been. So unless you're willing to completely scrub your hard drive and replace your hard drive every single time you use a VPN, it's pretty pointless. Again, if you're also looking at DNS servers, most of them don't have their own DNS server and they use something like OpenDNS or something like that. Well, that doesn't belong to that VPN company, and that will have a footprint of everywhere you've been, every website, every timestamp when you went there, all that sort of stuff. Also, another thing, people pay for super fast broadband speeds and then they go and put a VPN on, which absolutely kills your broadband speed. So if you want all of the security features turned all the way up, it's going to kill your broadband speed. Now, of course, when you purchase your VPN, they will know who you are because you've logged onto their site, and now you're going to be having to pay for that particular type of service. Whether you use some sort of payment method, that will have your address or your name, and they know who you are. So you're not completely invisible. Everything has a paper trail back to you at the end of the day. Now let's move on to your browser. Well, every time you open up a browser, surf the web, do a bit of shopping, maybe do a bit of banking, whatever it is you're doing online, of course you're using a browser which is owned by a company. And these are harvesting data. Whether they tell you it's the best privacy browser online or whatever it may be, they are going to be still taking some form of data. They know exactly what sites you're going to. They'll know timestamps of when you're going there. They'll know everything. They will know every little dirty secret you've got, every shopping habit and all this sort of stuff. And you could be logged into that browser as well with some sort of account that you've got. And you could be using maybe a Tor browser that says you're completely invisible online when you use Tor browser. And again, there's people out there that are using a VPN as well, and they're doing other steps to be even more invisible because they think they're one step ahead. And at the end of the day, it's just going to kill your internet speed. It really is. You're going to have very slow internet speeds if you start adding these layers of security. I mean, you have to sort of ask yourself the question, what are you doing online that needs that level of security or privacy to keep you private? Again, as soon as you walk out your front door, you're on camera. So the next thing is search engines. Whatever search engine you use is collecting and harvesting information. Every time you search something on the internet and put it into any one of these search engines, it will be harvesting data. And even including DuckDuckGo. Someone mentioned DuckDuckGo the other day. And again, they're going to have to have logs, and it's going to have timestamps, and it's going to have information there. It doesn't really matter what you use. And that moves on to social media. Whatever social media site you go onto, it could be Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. They're all going to be harvesting information and data. And of course, everything you say there is going to be logged and you can't delete it. Even if you delete your Facebook page, it will literally still have a shadow copy of that on their servers so they can pull it up at any time. And most people that are moaning about privacy and things like that on Windows 10, saying it's data collecting telemetry, these people are on YouTube typing in the comments section, and they don't realize that all that information is being stored and harvested anyway. So it doesn't make sense. So yeah, you can be behind your little VPN and doing all your little stuff online, whatever you do, creating multiple accounts and going around trolling people, whatever it is what you want to do online. But again, you are not hidden on these social media sites. And that could be said for any sort of website that you go to. It's going to leave your IP address left behind and other information of what browser you're using and other information that is stored on that server. And these servers could be anywhere around the world, and you could be going there, all your search history will be left behind. Not only is that information stored on the server for that website where it's hosted is being stored, it's also going to be stored on your computer. So no matter what you do, it's going to leave a footprint of where you've been on both places, your ISP, your computer, and the server that you visited. It's going to be stored in them places. Now, if you're using a VPN, it's going to be stored on the VPN servers as well. So there's some way of tracking it back to you. No matter where you go, there will be some paper trail back to you in some way, shape or form. And that will move on to the next one, which is your operating system that you're using. A lot of people complain about Windows 10, Windows 11 and other versions of Windows about the data collecting, the telemetry and other things like that. But at the end of the day, really, they're all the same. Operating systems will harvest data at some point. I'm pretty sure of it, that even Linux, any flavor of Linux will have some form of logs or data that's left behind. It will go somewhere, and they will need to monitor that for problems and other things that they can pick up on. And it doesn't really matter whether it's Mac OS either. It's all the same stuff. You're using a operating system that you don't own, that you've installed on a computer, which you are using, which is then going to send information to their servers. And it's the same thing with your router that is given to you, going back to your router that was given to you by your ISP. This will have a MAC address and also an IP that is designated to you from your internet service provider. This is obviously the weakest link in all of this. You can't do anything about that. And this information will be left behind. Same thing for your network card. Everything, every piece of hardware has a MAC address and, have some sort of ID, number on it. And this information is how they can track you as well. So all of these companies that will offer you routers will basically have that information on it. And whether you put a VPN in front of that to mask your IP, it's still going to leave a trace of information on these locations. So it's completely impossible to be invisible online. So why bother trying? Another thing I like to say is you can use virtual credit cards and other things like that and not give out your home address, but you're going to be doing shopping online at some point and they're going to have to know your address. And of course, people make payments online. This is the way the world is going. We're moving forward to mainly shopping online. Most of the high street stores now are closed because everyone buys stuff online. It's a lot more easier. And of course, that's going to give up your information. And even if you're installing programs like Discord and other programs on your computer, these are going to obviously be monitoring everything you do. This information can be stored on big servers. For instance, it could be your voice is converted into some form of text file and then stored on one of the Discord servers. You would never know whether they're doing this, and it could be held for a certain period of time just in case there's any problems. And that transcribed voice audio file into text is very easy to do nowadays with the advancements in AI technology. Even your antivirus program knows exactly where you're going on the internet. It monitors everything you're doing. This is how it protects you. It scans all your emails to make sure there's no nasty attachments to it. You just cannot hide on the internet. It's just stupid. People thinking that you can, it just drives me up the wall. And most of the people that are worrying about VPNs and worrying about their privacy are using a mobile phone, which is just as bad. All the information is being stored and logged on there, and this is how the police can catch criminals, by using their text messages and other information that they've had from their mobile phones. Now, if you're living in the UK, you'll probably know that we're the most watched country in the world. We've got cameras everywhere, and of course, you can't do anything about those. If you don't want to go outside, then you're going to be living in your house. So as soon as you go out, you're going to be on camera. If you're not doing anything wrong, you haven't got anything to worry about. And again, it doesn't stop crime from happening. It just helps catch the criminals. That's all it is. But it's just the society we live in today. So either get used to it or just go off grid and don't use the internet at all. That's the only way you're going to be 100% safe of not being monitored online. It's that simple. Don't have a mobile phone and don't use the internet. Now, of course, all of this doesn't mean I'm happy with the situation we're living in right now, but it is what it is, and we've just got to get on with it. At the end of the day, we're powerless. We're pawns in a big chess game. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Hope this video has been some sort of help. I'm pretty sure it's going to stir up a bit of controversy in the comment section below, but I'll be happy to read your comments. And I just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who join my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support. I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll catch you on the Discord server for a chat. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.